Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio. So today, we need to take a little bit of a look at a bunch of new gym trainer cards, including a brand new Pokémon V, and a kind of weird dumb item that I'm kind of in love with, and some Eevees because, you know, Eevees. So let's start off with what is undoubtedly the headliner of this little collection. We've got Dracovish V, the very first ever Dracovish V, and for what it's worth, the very first ever Dragon-type Dracovish. We've had Dracovish before, but only as a water-type Pokemon. I should mention here that our translations come from the lovely Lorelei Feliel, and I apologise for the horrendous pronunciation of your last name, which there is absolutely no chance I got that even close. I'm very sorry. But cheers to Lorelei for helping us translate these cards. So, Dracovish here, what have we got? Well, we've got a Dragon Pokemon, 220 HP, which is what we expect from the high end of Pokemon V. Retreat cost of 3 is high, but remember that Dragon Pokemon have no weakness, and that's a very good thing. And we have 2 attacks here, and this first attack is really good. We are generally not excited about these promo Pokemon Vs that almost certainly will end up as a V-Box over here. They almost all do. But this one I think we might have to make an exception. For 1 grass and 1 water energy, you do 60 damage. But before you do damage, you discard any Pokemon tools attached to the defending Pokemon. And if you discard any Pokemon tools, you do an extra 180 damage. Yep. Essentially, if your opponent ever attaches a Pokemon tool, and let's face it, right, we're in a format at the moment where everyone's playing Air Balloon if nothing else, and there are a whole bunch of other tools around. But if your opponent ever goes and attaches a Pokemon tool, 2 energy, 180. And the thing is, we live in a world where Melanie's a thing. So Melanie lets you attach a water energy from your discard pile to one of your Pokemon V and draw 3 cards. Doesn't have to be a water Pokemon, doesn't have to be active, or on the bench or anything like that, just automatic attach. So you can very easily here just use Melanie, attach that energy, and you're off. And that's 180 for 2 energy. 180 for 2 energy is really good. Yes, they've got to have a tool attached, but one of the things I like about Pokemon like Dracovish here is that either your opponent attaches energy and gives you a super easy 180 damage, or they don't. But then your opponent's doing that thing where they're not playing cards they want to play to try and hurt you. That doesn't hurt you that much, ladies and gentlemen. If your opponent plays a Crobat and attaches a Air Balloon here, good times for you, ladies and gentlemen. Good times for you. Or you can add a second water energy and do 210, but you can't use this attack on your next turn. Again, Melanie is absolutely on the table here. But we've also got that Frostlass from Chilling Reign, which lets you, when you evolve into it, attach a water energy from your discard pile to one of your Pokemon. So between Melanie and Frostlass, this is not a difficult Pokemon to actually get rolling. And once you get it rolling, 210 is a key number. 210 will get a lot of Pokemon V, and then Vitality Band or Galarian Zigzagoon will put you up to 220, and 220 basically gets Pokemon V. So we've got 2 really nice attacks here, one for 2 energy that does 180 if they've got any tools and discards the tools. And remember, if you discard something like an Air Balloon, you can trap them in the active and then 2-hit KO, which is fun. And the other one, 210 for free energy with the energy acceleration we've got. This is a cool Pokemon. I'm giving it 4 Wassies. I think this is maybe not a deck in and of itself, but I think if you're playing water decks and you're playing these water energy acceleration tricks, this is a Pokemon we can get a little bit excited about. Now, there is a new Pokemon tool coming as well. It is Blunder Policy, which is a real tool in the Pokemon world. Blunder Policy is a thing, which is fun. Now, in the video games, it increases your speed if you miss an attack. Here, if you have to flip a coin for an attack and it comes out as tails, you draw 3 cards. And the weird thing is, I don't really like this. Because generally speaking, right, if it's a really big, crucial attack at a crucial point in the game, then you're not going to want to substitute that for drawing free cards. You're just not. It's not going to be good enough. So where I see this working is on little baby Pokemon, where it's kind of flip a coin, if heads paralysis, things along those lines. So, I don't know, as a little bit of an example here, let's go for Diglett, that lovely new Diglett that came around in Chilling Reign. For 1 fighting energy, you flip a coin, and if heads, during your opponent's next turn, you prevent all damage from and effects of attacks done to this Pokemon. So essentially what you do here is you play Blunder Policy onto Diglett, you try and get immunity using Diglett, but then if immunity fails, you draw free cards. And drawing free cards on a basic evolving Pokemon like this is actually a really good effect. If there was a Diglett out there that for 1 energy just drew free cards with no downside, that would be a very, very good thing indeed. It would be kind of like, Hitmontop is probably the closest recent example we've got here. This is the Hitmontop from Vivid Voltage that lets you discard a card from your hand and then draw free cards. The thing is, Hitmontop, yes, you got to discard a card from your hand, but Hitmontop just does it. Here, you've got to have your policy, and you've got to have your basic Pokemon with your flip, and it's just asking too much. I think it's really fun and interesting, but I don't think it's good enough, and honestly, for the drawing free cards on a basic, I'd rather have Hitmontop. Of course, Hitmontop doesn't actually evolve into anything, whereas Diglett does. So there are going to be decks, maybe like a Dugtrio deck in the future, where this is fun, but I fear it's going to end up being a little disappointing. But we do have some new evolutions as well. So Leafeon here comes in with 110 HP, retreat cost of 1, nothing terribly special here. For a single grass energy, you do 30 damage, and during your opponent's next turn, you take 30 damage less from attacks. So it's that classic thing, we've seen this on grass Pokemon a bunch. You do 30, reduce by 30 the next turn, you got 110 HP, you're a stage 1. If you're relying on this, things are going very wrong. For 1 grass, 1 colourless, you do 50 damage, and then an extra 30 damage for each colourless energy in the defending Pokemon's retreat cost. So if they've got a retreat cost of 3, you'll end up doing 140 damage for 2 energy. Which is alright, but it really is nothing particularly special. Yeah, sure, you can use Cherim to accelerate the energy on here if that's the kind of thing you're into, but this is only really good on high retreat grass weak Pokemon. And if we end up in a format with high retreat grass weak Pokemon, we're talking darkness Pokemon that aren't poison in the video games, then yeah, fine. But to use this as an example, maybe the most impactful of the grass weak Pokemon we've got at the moment, you're talking like Umbreon V Max, alright? So Umbreon V Max comes along, and it's got a retreat cost of 2, so you end up starting off doing 50, you add 60 for the retreat cost of 2, you end up doing 110, double the weakness is 220, you're miles away. You are, quite frankly, miles away from actually getting a KO. Now, against regular Umbreon, they've still got a retreat cost of 2 and you will get the KO, so maybe this is good against something like Umbreon, but that really is about the best we can say here. It's not terribly exciting. As for Glaceon, same deal, 110 HP, retreat cost of 1, nothing terribly special. For 1 water energy, you do 20 damage to all of your opponent's Pokemon. Yeah, I actually really like this. This is kind of cool. I would like this so much more if we had the energy evolution. Eevee, we've had it a few times before. Most recently, it came around in Sun and Moon. And that's the one where you attach a basic energy to Eevee, and then you get to search your deck and evolve into an evolution of that type. If I could go second, attach a water energy to Eevee, evolve into Glaceon, and then start spreading 20 damage, I would actually really like this a lot. But I can't. A while ago, the Tapu Koko was very popular that did this, but that was a basic Pokemon with free retreat that did it for a double colourless energy, which was 1 energy attachment. That is not this card. So although I think there is absolutely some reason to do this occasionally, as it stands at the moment, I've got to all remind you, well, actually, we got the Noivern from Unified Minds, but that's rotating out. But we've had it for a while. It's a single colourless energy, and it's got free retreat, and it's seen no play. So if this Noivern hasn't seen any play, I don't think Glaceon's going to. However, if we do get an Energy Evolution Eevee in the future, bear this in mind, would ya? For 1 water, 2 colourless energy, you do 120, and you can't use this attack during your next turn, which is cool. Again, you've got stuff like Frostmoth to accelerate energy, which is lovely, but frankly, free energy 120 is not good enough. Remember, we got that 120-130 divide, which is a big deal at the moment. There are a lot of Pokemon with 130, so doing 120 will miss them, but I'm not putting free energy on a stage 1 to only do 120. It's not good enough. And we do have an Eevee here as well, a brand new, never-before-seen Eevee, except it's not a brand new, never-before-seen Eevee, it is an alternate art Eevee. It seems to be a reprint of the last promo Eevee. They are printing these Eevee promos over in Japan as gym promos. We've seen a bunch of them. They tend to repeat for a little while. We'll get a couple with the same effects. So the first attack lets you attach a basic energy from your hand to this Pokemon. It's fine, but it's not something that's going to get us hugely excited, I'm afraid, ladies and gentlemen. It's not a bad card, but it's also not a particularly exciting card. It is not one which is going to get us even a little bit excited. We've then got a couple of vanilla cards. We've got a Krogunk, which for a single energy will do 20 damage, and a Claydol that for 2 colourless energy will do 20 damage. Fair to say, neither of those are particularly exciting. So I do think this Dracovish is a very good card. I think the Glaceon has some potential if we get an Energy Evolution Eevee in the future, which incidentally it doesn't look like we're getting. And I think Blunder Policy's got some really niche uses, but I would be surprised to see it popping up in tournaments in the near future. For now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to know what you think about all of these cards, though, so let me know in the comment section. Go nuts! Be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCG Radio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that good stuff, head on over to patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can do exactly that. But by far the most important thing is always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.